We just spoke with former Councillor Tom Wickersham, and now Mayor Dodic joins us for one last time, his last day in office. So let's talk about that. How does it feel, last day as mayor?
Oh, it's certainly an interesting experience. You become somewhat reflective. You look back 3 years and say, geez, what was the first day like in office? And I remember I had to scramble to a breakfast meeting and bring greetings on behalf of the city only after literally 12 hours of being elected. And now on the last day, it's winding down. I can say that I actually worked pretty well right to the last day. My last official greetings for a charitable event actually took place on Sunday, which was for the Canada Make-A-Wish Foundation. And so most of my duties are now done.
So it's kind of a nice send-off then.
It is.
Absolutely. And what originally got you the idea to run for council? What made you want to run for council in the first place?
Well, I was good friends with a fellow by the name of Ed Rice. He was actually an alderman when it was still called alderman in the mid to late 60s, and we were chatting about it. This was in about 2004. And I expressed an interest, I think it was along the lines of I was probably complaining about something, and he said something to the effect of, well, you know, don't complain, do something about it. And then one thing led to another. Next thing I know, he'd picked up a package, and there I was on the election trail in 2004. And fortunately for me, the citizens elected me as alderman in 2004 and 2007. And then after that, I figured I had enough experience to give it a shot for the mayor's position, and enough Lethbridge citizens agreed, and here I am.
Absolutely. And what is maybe one of your most proudest achievements, or a couple of your proudest achievements being on council? Do you have any that really stick out?
Well, mainly the building community projects, the opening of the Community Arts Center, the renovation of the NMAX, the approval of the Aquatic Center on the west side that will soon be built, the Twin Ice curling complex. So there's a lot of community projects that have been really important to me. But at the same time, we've been maintaining our infrastructure, so our roads and our sidewalks, our transit, our library facilities, our protective services, being the police and fire EMS, are all being taken care of. So what you're trying to do is balance the wants and needs of the citizenry as a whole. That is an interesting juggling act.
Absolutely. And now I recently saw a picture of you with a guitar in your office here. Was that your way to kind of relax and unwind when maybe it was things were a little crazy with council?
Well, it's definitely something I did do to unwind. But years ago, literally 4 decades ago, I was involved in music to a significant degree. And the last time I played publicly before I was in office was I played in a band for law school. So we did Friday afternoon socials. But then 2 years ago, a band from Toronto called Hollerado, which is an indie band, were rolling through town on what they called the Meet the Mayors tour. Next thing I knew, I was on stage with them, and since then I've played with them on one other occasion. I've also guest appeared with the Chevelles, Who's Your Daddy, Trevor Pansack and Rough Stock, a band from Medicine Hat, and a bunch of others. So it definitely relaxation, but also a lot of fun and something I'll be pursuing in the future.
So maybe that's something you'll be looking into now that you got a little bit more free time?
Well, that's right. Yeah, you might actually see me again on stage, but I won't be bringing greetings or talking on behalf of city business.
Anything else you have planned now that you're out of the office?
Well, our daughter, about a month, 2 months ago, told us that she was going to be turning us into grandparents, my wife and I, Amy, into grandparents. And actually, the due date has just passed. It was October the 18th. So any day now, I will be Grandpa Dodic. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm excited for my daughter and my wife and entering a new phase in life, but that's going to be absolutely exciting.
And lastly, what advice do you have for your predecessor, the future council? What advice can you give to them?
Well, the advice I would give is that make sure that you understand that administration is not the enemy. Sometimes it bothers me when people are saying, you know, the tail's wagging the dog, that sort of stuff. But you got a talented group of individuals, all the way from people who are looking after our, our parks and pathways and things of that nature, all the way to the senior administration at the top. They're doing a job job. They're really trying to do the best they can for the citizens, and they are not the enemy. They are very talented, educated people with lots of experience. So I would suggest don't come into council thinking that everything needs to be changed on a wholesale basis. Make sure you're willing to listen and learn and make the best decisions possible. Promises are easy to make, more difficult to keep. Just do the best job that you can.
Absolutely. Great advice. Thank you so much, Mayor
You're
Dodic,
welcome.
for joining us today. And make sure to continue watching Shaw TV for updated election results.